Hey everyone. All right, back again. So this is an update video to my video I did earlier in the beginning of the year when we first purchased the EcoCap 1165 truck camper, and got quite a bit of feedback on that video. I thought I'd offer an update focusing specifically on a number of modifications that I've done. And last time I think the camper was off of the truck, and now it's on the truck, so you can get to see what it looks like with the 1165 sitting in the bed of the F450. So let's talk a little bit about some of the upgrades. I'm using a wider angle view this time. Some of you complained last time that using a standard view you lost a lot of visual information, so trying that this time for you. So we'll go around the camper, we'll talk about some of the upgrades made. Okay, so on the truck, you can see here I added a tire pressure monitoring system. Also, remote fill hoses for the inner dually. The inner dually was always a real pain to check tire pressure or add air to, but now we have these braided steel hoses that lead to both tires fill valves, and that little black device there in the end is the remote tire pressure sensor, and those feed into a small little console that goes into the cab, which allows me to monitor the tire pressure and temperature going down the road. Nice little piece of safety. So it also will audibly alert you if tire pressures drop below a predefined limit, which is nice. While we're down here, why don't we just look at the suspension? Yeah, I just hit my head on the camper slide there. That is a common occurrence. If you buy one of these, you will be hitting your head on that slide when they're out constantly. And I'll actually show you one of the upgrades I've made to help save my skull there. But you'll see when the camper's on the truck that the overload spring is engaged. Okay. That helps with the load support and the stability of the camper. This vehicle is outfitted with the oh, why can't I think of the name now? We'll get back to it. Okay. Don't watch my head backing out. All right. What else we got? Oh, added these screens on all of the external openings to keep the bugs from making nests inside the crevices, like in the exhaust port for the furnace, or getting into the internals of the generator, which is right behind this panel. Let's see, around back here, oh, here's the little upgrade. It's just basically a pool noodle that you put on the edge, and these furniture corner kitty protectors, because you can see these corners are very sharp, and that will open up a huge gash on your head. So we just put these little foam protectors here in the corner, protects your skull. So we use these pool noodles. I typically have them on all of the slides, but right now I just have them on the rear one. The rear one is where you have a lot of the action, because you have these doors you need to get access to. So you end up hitting your head a lot on those. And no matter how many times you think about it in practice, you are going to consistently hit your head on these. So it's just human nature. But these have protected my noggin a large number of times. There's one thing I want to show you up on top. If you can see there, you can see it on top. Let's see if I can zoom in here. There. See that big black box? That's a cover on the fantastic, on the vent up there, the electric vent. Fantastic vent. So it allows us to keep that vent open when it's raining or when the vehicle's in motion. So that was a great addition, that black vent cover up top. What else we got? Oh, the torque lift glow steps. These steps have been a game changer. I don't know if I showed it on the previous video, but the camper comes with basically a hanging 3-step setup, and then typically you can see here it wouldn't even come halfway down. You'd have to have an additional pair if it's auxiliary steps to carry around with you, and or keep them at home, and you'd have to line them up. And then those hanging steps were always a little flaky and always a feeling of insecurity when you walk on them. But these are a really solid set of aluminum steps. And installation of this was probably an all-day event for myself and my son, because you do have to do some additional drilling, and you have to add spacers. You can see the spacers back in there, the aluminum spacers. You can barely see them in there, but yeah, so getting all of that right, because the fitment is very, very tight tolerances when this thing is collapsed. Getting it to work properly, properly engage and lock in there, it was a real pain in the butt, to be honest with you, but great result. These are fantastic. Number one upgrade if you have a truck camper is to get these steps installed. Much better for you, much better for your pets. The dog feels much more secure and much more willing to go up and down these steps than the factory ones. So, highly recommend those. What else we got? Okay, let's look at the propane area. You can see up there I added some steel braided propane lines, replaced the rubber ones that came from the factory, and these also have a gauge. The factory ones, actually, after just 6 months, they were already starting to checker, and I was really disappointed in that. So I immediately replaced these with some nice braided hoses that I found on Amazon. Great little upgrade. I also installed a remote propane monitoring system on both of these tanks. There are two 30-pound tanks in this camper, and that involves a sensor that goes on the bottom of each tank. I can't show that to you now, but that connects to an app using Bluetooth and allows you to get accurate measurements of your propane pretty much at all times. It's from a company called Mopica. Highly recommend that upgrade as well. Probably the biggest upgrade we've done in the camper is on the electrical system. We got a lot of junk in here right now, so what I can tell you is, if you look back there, you can see we have a pair of Battleborn GC3 270 amp hour batteries for a total capacity now of 540 amp hours of lithium storage. Great improvement on duration, where we can run off-grid. We just got back from a camping trip. For 2 days we were off-grid, using generous use of all the electricals, capacity of the vehicle. We were using the microwave, a toaster, all of the other electrical that's involved, the furnace, taking showers, and after 2 days we were down to 83% capacity, which means we could have gone quite a few days in addition to that without charging. So great upgrade. We also have a Victron Multiplus charger inverter here with some of the other Victron accessories that you can purchase, such as the Lynx distributor and the Lynx shunt for battery monitoring. There's a master kill switch there I added, circuit breaker on the incoming 30 amp, shore power, the Servo GX, that's sort of a master controller for the Victron system. That gives you access to an app where you can monitor all of the current flow throughout the system. And what that big box there does, that's the Victron Multiplus 3000 charger inverter. It does the charging from shore power or generator, converts it to the DC, charges the batteries through those big honking DC cables there, and also provides the AC power off of the batteries when you're off grid. So fantastic upgrade, very involved installation and configuration. So get help from a reputable dealer if you're unfamiliar with doing, electrical work. Installed some jumper posts over here. These are great for running my portable AC compressor when I'm airing tires up and down, because I do swap the camper on and off the truck quite frequently to use it as a regular pickup when I'm not camping. And so I want to run different tire pressures. So this has been very convenient for helping me do that. Great stuff. This was the battery compartment. Sorry, that's locked. But now it's just storage because I took out the lead acid batteries that were in here. We now have our batteries, our GC3 lithium batteries. So this has become a nice storage box for me. All right. Well, let's go inside. We'll see some of the upgrades that we have done inside. Not as much on the inside, I think, as on the outside. All right, let me get the lights. All right, the Cap 1165. Love this camper. Oof. Fantastic. What kind of upgrades have we done inside? Okay, so a few things. I replaced some of these puck lights with dimmable puck lights. So you can see that. If I press and hold, it's going to get brighter. Hard to tell when it's light out, but when I press and hold, it'll go back to dim. These are really nice because we run them on the dimmest setting. Much better ambiance than the stock lights, which is on or off, and the on was like bright as the sun. So it was really annoying to use them at night. You didn't even want to use them. But now with this dimmable feature, much better. It also has a neat little night light feature. It gives you a cool blue setting. I typically leave this one on at night, so if people get up and have to use the bathroom, they don't hurt themselves. So I replaced this one and the one over the dinette with the same dimmable, and also the two in the bedroom back there. Makes for a nice, gentle nighttime reading light. I did not replace the one over the changing area here or in the bathroom because these two areas I kind of like to have the bright light. Maybe eventually I'll change those. What other upgrades on the inside? Nothing in the bathroom to show you. I don't think so, right? No, we didn't do anything in the bathroom yet. Still the stock 1165 bathroom. Oh, this is the control panel for the Victron system here. So you can see it shows you the energy flows. This represents the two batteries, the battery bank, the DC loads, connecting to the inverter charger. This is the shore power. You can see we're disconnected, so it's not showing anything. You can see currently the inverter is inverting. There's a very small AC load going on right now. That's probably for the clock on the microwave. That's pretty much about it. But then you can view different views here of your energy consumption and your capacities, and then you can go into the menus here and make all sorts of changes on your controller and your shunt, your notifications. You can be alerted when your battery hits a certain level. You go into here, you can turn your inverter on and off, you can change the input current limit. Just a multitude of things you can do here, all from this control panel. Typically you just leave it like this so you can observe your current usage, your battery usage. What else? Oh, added this towel rack here. Looks nice. Put a roll of Bounty paper towels on there. Really convenient location for that. Works really well. Yeah, the wireless router. So the EagleCap 1165 came from the factory with the WineGuard 360 Plus antenna on the roof. And that antenna unit includes Wi-Fi and 4G antennas. But they are not hooked up to anything when it comes from the factory. So you can purchase this additional WineGuard router, which then allows you to connect those antenna cables that are dangling in the access panel in the bathroom. You wire them in and you connect them to the router. You get a SIM card from a wireless provider. Like I have an AT&T account, so I got an additional SIM card on my AT&T account, which I have unlimited data. Plug the SIM card into here. Have a switch right here to turn it on and off. I pretty much leave it on all the time, and it provides Wi-Fi to your entire camper. It's accessible from the outside around the camper when you're around the campfire. It's really neat. It's not 5G, it's 4G, but it's more than enough for casual web surfing around the campsite. Probably not great for streaming live video games and whatnot, but we don't do that in the camper. So this is really sufficient. We've had multiple devices all connected to it, and the capacity has been more than adequate. So really happy with that upgrade as well. Highly recommend that. Take advantage of that antenna that the factory installed on your roof. Other than just the TV portion of it, which comes from the factory enabled. What else? Oh, I installed a soft start in the air conditioner. That's pretty much a must-have upgrade for most RVs. Basically, when the air conditioner compressor starts up, it just applies much less current load for the startup phase, because the startup phase of any AC compressor is much larger than when it's normally running. So this sort of, the soft start smooths that out for you, puts less stress on your electrical system. I found out before I had the soft start that the Victron wasn't crazy about it. It would always act a little funky when the compressor would kick in. One time actually the inverter charger shut down on me because of the load. Don't know why. But ever since installing the soft start, it's been smooth as a baby's bottom on that. So anything else? I think that's about it. Oh, just remembered the suspension components. Let's quickly go take a look at that before we wrap up. I remember the name now. Timbren SES suspension enhancement system. Let's go underneath here. Let's see if I can show them to you. Yeah, you're not going to see it. Forget it. It basically just replaces the bump stops on your truck between the axle and the frame. It's sort of just like an advanced bump stop with some neat composite of rubber that provides cushioning. It's sort of similar to airbags, simpler than airbags. You know, have all the complexity of maintaining a compressor and bags that can leak and lines. They're just a advanced bump stop essentially. And the camper right now, the vehicle is resting on those bump stops, so they sort of enhance the suspension. So you get the combination of the Timbren SES and the overload springs and being engaged, and of course the majority of the load is being supported by the main spring pack. So those three in combination is what allows you to carry a large truck camper like this on the back of a pickup truck, and it works really well going that road. Very stable. You go around turns at the posted speed limit, back road turns and whatnot, and she's very stable. No problems at all. With the F450, you get the bigger medium-duty brakes. Braking is more than sufficient on this vehicle, even with the camper in the back. I'm very happy with the performance of this truck. I initially thought about going with an F550, but that would have to be registered as commercial, and I just didn't want to deal with all the hassles of maintaining a commercial registration and what's involved there. So I said, let me give the F450 a try, see how well she does with this camper, and she's performed stellar. So very happy. Only thing I don't like is the fact that you don't have as much storage as you would on, say, an F550 flatbed. So maybe someday in the future I'll do it just for the storage, but so far that has not been an issue for us. So we've had plenty of storage for what we are currently doing. I suppose if we're going to take multi-week road trips in a camper, that might be a different story. So we'll revisit then. This year we've been primarily going to state parks and private campgrounds in the New York and Connecticut area, you know, within a couple 100 miles of home. As we learn the camper, we learn its idiosyncrasies, we learn how to deal with issues that come up. So we're doing all of that this year, you know, fairly close to home. Haven't been any issues where that's mattered, but so this was sort of our training year. And next year we're going to start going further away and take some longer, more adventures, I guess you would call it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Love this truck. I love going out and spending time with the family. It's all I need. It's all I need out of life. I don't need anything else. All right, let me know if you have any comments. Just post them below like you have before. And let me know if you anything else in addition that you want to see on this vehicle or how we use it. Bye.